Hello, welcome back to Mancinima. I hope you're all doing very well. Before we get on to today's movie review, if we can go through that old routine, the one I bore you with every week, if you could please hit the thumbs up button. It doesn't cost you a penny, it just helps spread awareness of this channel across the YouTube network. If you can subscribe to the channel only if you are new to the channel. If you have already subscribed, do not touch that button. But if you're new to the channel, we've got loads of different contents on here for you. We've got conventions, we've got dinosaurs, we've got film reviews, we've got collectibles, all that kind of thing, so you might want to go and take a look at that. So yeah, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Also hit the notification bell, it'll let you know when we've done another one of these videos. Right, and let's get on with today's film review. Okay, so we're going to go and see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in the Odeon just there, and we'll give you a full review when I get home, so let's go in now. I'm the only one in here so far. Nobody else, screen to myself. Well, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was absolutely fantastic, but I'll tell you more about it when I get home. So here we are, back from the Odeon cinema after seeing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I'm going to give you a little bit of the plot now. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but I'm going to give you a little bit of the plot so that you know where we're going. This is Rocket's story. It focuses on, obviously, the Rocket Raccoon character that we've known from the previous Guardian movies and also from the Avengers movies. And he's basically milling around on the planet of nowhere with the other Guardians. And now they're dressing the planet up, making it a nice place to live for the citizens and also for the Guardians themselves. There's some neon signs going up, there's music being played through the loudspeakers via courtesy of Peter's playlist. And Peter himself is the only one who's kind of unhappy, really. He's still moping and mourning Gamora. And you see Rocket walking into the room with the playlist, and he's going through the songs, and Peter says, "Hey, what are you doing with that? That's mine." So of course he goes to take the player off of Rocket, and Rocket gets the grump and he goes back to his room. So when he's in his room, I think he's getting ready for bed, when all of a sudden there's this blast that comes through the sky, and it blasts through the building, grabs Rocket and rams him into a wall, and he's fatally injured. And we turn out that this blast was a character called Adam Warlock, and he's played by Will Poulter. Now, he has been sent by another character called the High Evolutionary, and I need to get the gentleman's name on this. I hope I'm going to pronounce this correctly. The actor is Chukwudi Iwuji, I believe. I hope I've pronounced that correct. He plays the High Evolutionary, and he wants Rocket back. And the reason he wants Rocket back is because he's the guy that created him in the first place. He likes to do animal experimentation. There's an otter that he puts a pair of arms on, like metallic arms. He puts a walrus in a wheelchair on wheels. And he also puts these spider legs on a rabbit. Now, when they're locked up in this animal experimentation camp, these animals become friends, and the High Evolutionary also grants them the power of speech, so they're able to speak to one another, and they're characters in their own little right, really. However, during this time, Rocket escaped the High Evolutionary, ran off, did his own thing, became the Rocket Raccoon character that we know and love, and the High Evolutionary has been looking for him ever since because he wants him back, because he believes that he is the key to creating this perfect society. However, as we know, Rocket has been fatally injured, and Rocket is now dying. He's only got 48 hours to live. And it's up to the Guardians to find the cure, and the only way they can find the cure is actually to go back to where the experiment began in the first place, which leads them right into the path of the High Evolutionary. And that is the basic plot of the film, without spoiling for you. The film blasts into action from the very start. We're immediately launched into a fight scene with the rest of the Guardians versus Adam Warlock, and the immensely powerful Adam Warlock. You've got scenes where Nebula is blasting him with her arm gun, and then you've got a scene where Groot grabs hold of him and wraps himself around Adam Warlock, trying to contain him, and Adam's fighting him off and flying him up into the atmosphere. And eventually they get the better of Adam, and he's sent off wounded, and then they have to immediately run and take care of course, the fatally wounded Rocket. Now, this is something that kind of bugs me a little bit, just a little bit. Although the pace is fantastic in this movie, there are moments where the urgency kind of drops away. In one moment they're all hovering around Rocket, pass me the med pack, no, don't do that, don't do this to him. We've got to try and save his life. And then they find that there's this defect on his heart and a little machine they've got to deal with. And then later on, that urgency kind of drops away. They're kind of more casually sitting around in the starship. I know Peter and some of the other Guardians go off to this alien's house, and they're trying to find this person who can find something that will save Rocket. And that seemed a little bit casual to me, whereas the previous bits have been kind of faster paced. However, great action scenes in this film, like I said, some fantastic fights, some fantastic stunts. The special effects are amazing as always. I remember there's this scene with this organic planet they have to fly into as well and forcing their way through. Moments of superb comedy as well. Again, not going to spoil too many things for you, but watch out for a scene up in the beginning of the film where they do go to this organic planet and something happens with the spacesuits. Let's just say something happens with the spacesuits and it's to do with Mantis and it's all her fault. So yeah, there's some great comedy moments in there. Of course, Drax brings you lots of comedy as well. The way he kind of charges into a situation and speaks his mind. And you've seen in the trailer where he picks the ball up, the girl throws in the ball, he picks the ball up and blasts it at her head, and all of a sudden all the citizens of this planet that they've landed on are wary of him, and they start throwing rocks at Drax and throwing rocks at Peter Quill and stuff like that. So yeah, there's some great moments of comedy in this film. And like I said, sometimes it kind of gets a little bit lost with the urgency of the fact that they're trying to save Rocket's life. Now, Rocket himself has his own story that is told through the kind of, I guess, they're kind of flashback dream sequences. While he's laying fatally wounded, we go into his mind and we see his memories of who he was and how he came to be, and the fact that he doesn't really want to go back near this high evolutionary and what this high evolutionary did to him and his friends back in the day. Some of those scenes are very dark, some of them are very moody and very, very emotional towards the end of the film. Once you learn the story of Rocket and his friends, once you come towards the end of the movie, that can get very, very emotional. So and that was very well done. I thought it was a very nice little thing. It doesn't ever feel, you know, sometimes you watch these movies and you get these cut-off scenes that weave in and out of the film and you think, oh, just get on with the main plot. In this film you don't feel that. You feel like you want to know what has gone on in Rocket's past because it enriches the movie that you're watching overall. So yes, really did enjoy that. Character performances, as usual, Chris Pratt is fantastic, being funny and charming as Star-Lord. And also you've got Zoe Saldana, who plays a much meaner, much more aggressive Gamora in this movie, and something that Star-Lord is trying to get his head around and tries to kind of win her around. I found that Nebula was funny in this movie by being, you know, so aggressively mean. Sometimes she comes across really funny. Drax is hilarious as always. Rocket is emotional throughout the film. You really do feel for that little character. And Groot is good in this film as well because he's grown up from that teenager that he was in the previous movies, a little bit older now, much more responsible. He's not quite back to the Groot that we saw in the first Guardians of the Galaxy before he got blasted to bits, but he's getting there and he's much more mature, and he's got some fantastic things that he does with hiding weapons and things like that. I'm not going to spoil too much for you, but watch for some scenes where Groot is much more, what can we say, much more exciting than he's been before. So yeah, there's some good moments there. If I have one little grumble, one little niggle about this film, it's probably that the Adam Warlock character isn't necessary at all. Although he's great to watch, and Will Poulter gives a fantastic performance as Adam Warlock, I think you could probably lift that character out of the movie and still have the same movie without him being in it. Yeah, I know he's kind of like a bounty hunter type character, that he comes in and he's been sent to find Rocket. But his arc throughout the film isn't that great that if you took him out of it, you'd miss him being in there. Yes, he's fun to watch. Yes, he's got some great powers. Yes, the fight sequences with him are superb to watch. But yeah, tell me what you think. I personally think you could take the Adam Warlock character out of this movie. You could still have the same movie, still have the same action, and you know, get the same result. But yeah, he was, like I say, he was fun to watch. I'm glad he was in it, but kind of unnecessary. As Marvel fans, you should know this, but there are two end credit sequences, one mid-credits and one at the very end. They're both worth staying for, and both of them hint at the future of where the Guardians may or may not go next. The first one is quite a fun scene, and the end one is a bit more of a quieter scene. But the one thing I will say is, look out for the newspaper. Read the headline if you can get a look at that. Read the headline on the newspaper, that's quite fun. And also stay until after that scene for something that pops up on the end credits, which I also thought was quite intriguing. I won't say what it is here, but just stay right until that very last, till the screen goes black, you know. But read that white screen. There's a logo that comes up on that screen that says something will happen. So yeah, let me know what you thought about that. So with all of the action, all of the fun, all the special effects and all the great characterisation, this is a fantastic Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I think it's probably, I mean, I might say it's probably my favourite out of all of the Guardians movies to date. It's also the darkest and it's the most emotional Guardians movie. However, that's not so much in a way that when you leave the cinema you feel down or upset or anything like that. This movie leaves on an upbeat, I will tell you that much. It won't spoil it, but it leaves on an upbeat. You still feel good when you've left the cinema, and you feel that this movie has rounded off the Guardians trilogy very, very well. I was very happy with the way that this wrapped up. The darker themes are basically the themes about the animal experimentation. There's themes that we do still need to be aware of and still need to rally against. We don't want experiments on animals. We don't want that kind of thing going on in our world. And this is a strong way of doing it by weaving it throughout this story. Like I say, it doesn't bog the story down though. You don't come out of this movie feeling sad or kind of moody throughout the whole of the film. You still leave on an upbeat. There's an uplifting spirit as always to this film, and it's a nice one for James Gunn to go out of. I was kind of worried that him being involved with DC now, that he wouldn't really commit to this movie in the way that I would hope that he would, but he did. He's done a fantastic job with this film. I think it's, like I say, it's either the best or the second best Guardians movie out of the trilogy for me. I do recommend that you go and see it at the cinema, go and see the spectacle. There's some great special effects in here, some fantastic action sequences. Go and see it on a nice cinema with a nice projector so you can see some nice bright colours and things like that. It's definitely one that I will buy when it comes out on disc at the end of the year. Out of 10, I'd probably give this Guardians an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10, so I really did enjoy it that much, and I will definitely be buying it when it comes on disc, as I said previously. Let me know what you think about Guardians of the Galaxy. If this is your kind of movie, whether you enjoy this film, let me know whether your opinion matches mine. And we'll be back with whatever movie opens next week, because I still don't know what movies are opening next week. I think we're getting that period now just before the big ones are about to come out, films like Indiana Jones, where things slow down a little bit. So I don't actually know what's coming out next week, but if there's anything worthwhile, I'll be back with a review for you. If you've enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Give the video the thumbs up. Doesn't cost you anything, helps my channel out a great deal, lets people know that we're here. If you could just do that for me, awesome, thank you. If you are new to the channel, and only if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you want to hear the first word that these videos are coming out, hit the notification bell. It'll basically tell you when I've done another video. It'll pop up on your screen. It'll say, hey, there's a new video from Mancinima, and you can come and enjoy that, hopefully. And please come and talk to me in the comments. Love to talk to you guys in the comments. Thank you to everybody who's been doing that so far. Thank you also to all of our new subscribers. I really do appreciate all the people that have come along and subscribed. I'm seeing the numbers going up, which is great. If you just want to tell your friends, say, you know, if you think I've done a good job today, show the video to your friends and ask them if they wouldn't mind subscribing and liking the video. That would be great. It really does help me out. So in the meantime, thank you once again for watching. I hope you all enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and I will see you all again very, very soon.